Thank you. One of the things that's the founder and master teacher of our organization. One of the things he expressed and he taught was to receive what he's saying, as opposed to so much memorizing or learning. Now, there's going to be some memorization, some things you're going to learn, you're going to understand initially, some things later on. Now, what's the difference between receiving what he's saying and, let's say, learning? Here's the difference. Let's say a father has two sons, like our two newcomers here, just tells them, sons, hold this big, huge bag open, okay? You take two hands, the other one takes two hands, just hold it open. While the father takes very neatly, very pristinely decorated gifts and just puts them into the bag. Y'all following me? All the two sons are doing a holding the bag open, while the father puts these beautifully decorated gifts in. Of course, they're wondering what's in the box, this and that and so forth. Father says, sons, don't concern yourself with that. Just put the neatly decorated boxes, just hold it open so I can put it, the neatly decorated gifts in the bag. The vibration that those gifts carry will resonate so much with the sons that even though they don't know what's in it, they understand it's something very important, very special indeed. Now the father may tell them, don't concern yourself with it right now, but at some time in the near future or later on, the significance of what's in the boxes may be revealed. Are you all following me? Just nod if you understand, or this way if you don't, we'll revisit. So sometimes it's important to just receive, okay? And understanding will come later. You may look at a construction site and you don't know what's going on. You don't know what all's going on there. I'm not a construction expert. I'm not an engineer. I see pipes and wires and bulldozers and backloaders and excavators. I see a lot of stuff. But I receive what they're doing, understanding that it's very significant. Okay? Manifestation will reveal later on the significance of it. Once a skyscraper is built, or a new recreational center, or a baseball field, or what have you. And I say that because more likely, and I'm not going to limit you all, maybe you have, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But if you didn't fully understand everything he was saying initially, if you receive it, life, one of the most wonderful things about our master teacher is life reveals his teaching. That's why he said at the end, they got to believe it. New Age truth, we don't use belief.
Okay.
You're to know. Because to know is to be.
Okay.
If as far as you go is to believe, you can be deceived. Let me give a quick demonstration. Let me work on my memory for you. One of you young men was named Brandon, right? Was there a Brandon? Okay, I thought it was Brandon. Brandon, if I told you I drove her in a black Toyota Camry, what would you say?
Nice car.
Nice car. Do you believe me? You do? But do you know? You don't know, but you believe me, you probably find me trustworthy, and why would he lie to me, but you don't know, right? So what does that mean? You can be deceived, can't you? Mm-hmm. Now, if you witness me pull through this little narrow driveway, park, get out, and I told you I drove up here in a black Toyota Camry, you said, excuse me, Brother Osiris, with all due respect, that looks like a silver BMW to me. No, I drove. You would know something's awry, and your antenna would be up, and you'd probably look at me out of the side of your eye from this point forward if you knew I deceived you. You understand? That's why knowledge is so important. It has to replace belief. You have to know.
That's right.
That's the only way you cannot be deceived. Okay? So we want to express that. Now there are a few things about the tape and that we indicated on the flyer we want to highlight as well. Then we'll open it up for questions, concerns, comments. In the very beginning, he mentioned in the Bible it says, Lords are many and gods are many. Now that's, in case you wonder, that's in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, 5, where it says, Lords are many and gods are many. And if you notice, he said, and don't, and I like this, but this is like a very strong group. I don't think nobody's gonna sprint out of it. And he said, and I'm one. Y'all remember him saying that? He said, the Bible said, Lords are many and gods are many, and I'm one.
That's right.
So what does he mean? We accept, he has proven himself to be a God-man. But let me explain to you exactly what that means. These are my words. Others in our organization may express it a little bit differently, but the essence will be there regardless if you speak to Sister Nefertiti, Sister Lee, Sister Jennifer, Sister Jessica, Brother Kamara, and so forth. What is a God-man? Because if you have the privilege of hearing our master teacher lecture more often, and Leland has heard him, well, let me see, he's come to youth events, but actually I don't know if he's actually heard him lecture, but he's been to a couple of our youth events. You'll hear us refer to him as a God-man. Don't recoil, don't get fearful and superstitious and sprint out the door. What is a God-man?
God.
A God-man is one who has proven self-mastery and soul control, and who has the working method to and for the new and improved way of living life today for all of humankind. Let me say that again. A God-man is one who has proven, again we're talking about proof, not belief, one who has proven self-mastery, mastery over that lower beast nature he talked about, and soul control. His soul is in control of every thought, expression, and action. And who has the working method to and for the new and improved way of living life today for all of humanity. That's why we call him a God-man. Okay? A couple other matters here. He mentioned the human. And he said a something man in the body. Does anybody recall? Yes, sir. Tiger. Thank you very much. Tiger man in the body. Now, where does that come from?
The soul of a tiger.
He said, yes, I don't know if y'all heard him. He said the soul of a tiger. Yes. Our ancient Chinese brothers and sisters observed the tiger. Now, the tiger then, as it is now, is considered one of nature's most mysterious animals. Has very odd and mysterious mating habits, feeding habits, hunting habits, and so forth. So as they observe the tiger, they realize its beast nature will rear up almost randomly. Now, if you observe lions, leopards, cheetahs, when they growl or pounce, it's usually for a reason. But tigers are very unpredictable. They don't quite understand why they do what they do. So in observing that, they notice the similarity in us, the two-legged animal. And all you have to do is go right out here, look at the TV, look at what's going on with those in charge of serving and protecting. You look at us, who are supposed to keep our communities uplifted. You look at both sides of the coin, and you see the same sort of behavior in us as human beings, that you see in a tiger. So they call them human. Like the Chinese say, human. Now you put man behind it, and you don't get human. That's how we say it. And it's human, emphasis on human. Now man comes from ancient Sanskrit, which is the language of ancient Hindus. Man means, Manu. Man comes from Manu, the thinker, Manu, the lawgiver. Okay? It denotes mind, which is the real man, in his animal body, that tiger body. That's why you have words like manuscript, which means using mind, using the pen, the hand, to write down notes, stories, what have you. You have manual, M-A-N-U-A-L, which is just a collection of work or instruction, bound in paper form. Manufacture, which means using your mind to create something else, to create a factory, okay, in order to produce some item or product. So that's where man comes from, and that's where hue comes from. And combined is human, if we said it more accurately with what it denotes. But we say human, right? Human. But it's human, okay? Now, on the flyer, it says, what is rationality? If you recall, he said well, let me ask. Maybe some of you all recall, or maybe have it in bits and pieces. If not, we'll put it all together. We're family here, so there is no right or wrong, or oh, you know, none of that. Does anybody recall what he said rationality was? Anybody, or get an idea? Some of the pieces of it. If not, we'll put it together. Yes, sir, Brother Dumas.
I came up with conscious conformity to conditions.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Rationality is the result of being able to consciously conform to conditions. There is no way of overstressing that. Most of the violence we see here in the streets at our own hands and by the hands of those assigned to serve and protect us for that very reason. They cannot consciously conform to the conditions that they're in. Okay? The word rationality, the opposite of rationality is irrationality, or to be irrational, which is derived from the word irate. Okay? I'm sure each of the young men who have experienced this, I've experienced this numerous times. You all may perhaps in a different capacity, but what's fairly commonplace, particularly when I was in my 20s, if you went out and one of your friends, let's say it's 5 of you go out, and he sees his recent ex-girlfriend with her new man at the club, he clowns, they clown. Now what's the first thing you do? You try to calm him down before the bouncers get to him or security gets to him. Because what he sees is so displeasing to him, you know, it'll build up. And if you observe him as a friend, you may be able to address it before he gets totally irrational. But sometimes you can't do it. He starts bugging her. She tells him, leave me alone, leave me alone. He said, come on, man, leave me alone. She here with her new man. You broke up 2 months ago. Can anybody relate to what I'm saying? Yeah. Make sure I ain't speaking I'm not speaking a foreign language. So he starts to clown. And you escort him outside. You actually grab him and pull him outside. Okay? You're trying to get him to consciously conform to the conditions. It's difficult to see your recent ex-girlfriend with another man. That's difficult. But as a good friend, you try to bring him back to rationality. Now, once he becomes rational enough, and we're not going to get into this aspect of it, now you can reason with him. One of the things you usually try to do to reason with your man, with your friend, you may say, oh man, she wasn't good enough for you anyway. Oh, you can do better than that. You know, Lisa's digging you, man. Why don't you give her? You find things to get him to consider something that'll take his mind away from his ex-girlfriend that's causing him to get irrational, thrown out of the club and almost arrested and everything else. So, rationality is extremely important. Once again, it is the result of being able to consciously conform to conditions. Now, if they turn the air off in this building, it would be a great test of how rational we could be. Because I would have to loosen up my tie and take out my coat, and folks would have to do things to get a little bit more comfortable. So it'd be a test to see. You ever see how people get tested when they're at work or you're all in school and the air goes out? Man, it's hot and it can get testy. But the proof that it's the secret enemy is that you all tell me if it started to get hot in here, what's the absolute best thing to do? Get some water. Or let's say you can't leave the room right now. What's the next best? Water would be the best thing to do. What's the next best thing to do?
Hot.
Well, you could. We wouldn't want you to expose.
How hot it is.
Not thinking about. Just sit there calmly. But what does the enemy get you doing? You make yourself hotter by complaining and fussing about it and gyrating and so forth. That's nothing but the enemy within trying to make it. The best thing to do. Oh, it's warm in here. Maybe get somebody to check on when they're going to fix the air and sit there calmly. But we do the opposite. If it gets hot and uncomfortable, and then we start acting a fool and make conditions worse for ourselves because we're not able to consciously conform to the current conditions. Okay? So we wanted to express that. A couple more things, and we're going to open it up. Now we put on the flyer how to reach mastership on earth. I see, those are the sort of questions and sort of issues that when I first started hearing my master teacher lecture, 30, I can remember better than 30 years ago. Those sort of things, Those are sort of questions he would ask. I never heard anyone ask these type of questions. How do we reach mastership on earth?
Come on, look at the sign.
Okay? Now, he mentioned our ultimate purpose is to reach divinity, and we're going to explain what that means. He said, first we must be intelligized. Now listen to this is how you reach intelligence. In our master teacher's words, intelligence is that which will give you the ability to learn, enable you to profit by your experiences so that you may acquire knowledge and comprehension and understanding. Let me read it one more time. Intelligence is that which will give you the ability to learn, enable you to profit by your experiences so that you may acquire knowledge, comprehension, and understanding. That's what intelligence is. We're here to establish that first. The next step is civilized, intelligized, then we have to be civilized. Civilized simply means that you can work with others. Okay? That's what to be civilized or civilization is about. People coming together. Now the next step, and he said we haven't moved past this third one. Does anybody remember the third one? I'll give you a clue. We just finished talking about it. Anybody? Rationality. Now that we're all together, okay, it starts to get real hot in here. What's your name, young man? I'm so happy to have you.
My name is
Lee. L-E-E, okay. Now that we're all together, Lee starts to get hot. They're going to start to irritate Brother Dumas. Brother Dumas gets out, he's going to start to irritate Sister Nefertiti. Now, we've come together in a civilized manner, but now our rationality is gone or is being tested. You know how irritable people can get when they get too warm. We have, again, the thing I love most about teaching, you don't have to climb Mount Everest to find the significance. All you have to do is walk right out here. And before you get down the staircase, you'll see rationality being tested.
all the time. Yeah.
The graves are filled with people who cannot consciously conform to their conditions. And the overwhelming dominant aspect of it is this little rudder right here. We call the tongue. So small but so mighty. Anybody ever seen those big 100, 200, 300 ton ships? You know they can turn, you know the rudder in the ship is about that big, maybe that wide, the little rudder at the bottom of the ship. All you gotta do is turn that thing, all that rudder has to do is turn like that, and that big 100-ton tanker or whatever will turn. Showing you how powerful this rudder is. If you can control it, you can control this. That's 90% of it this here. We can control this. Just like that little rudder, all they do in the ship, they turn that little handle, and you see the ship, that little rudder turns like that, and that big 300-ton whatever starts to move this way. So it shows you how important it is, how critical it is to control this. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now the next level is humanize. Reaching the human kingdom simply means reaching the kingdom of reason. Ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that separates the four-legged animals in the forest from the two-legged animal in the house is reason. The four-legged animal cannot reason. It's not the vibration it carries. It is controlled by its nature, its instinctual nature. That's why it's no crime for a lion to kill a zebra. It'd be ridiculous to lock a lion up. That's his nature. But when a brother out here tries to kill another brother, well, we gotta lock them up because we can't have them preying on each other. We understand and accept that there's a predator-prey relationship in nature. Again, you don't lock a lion up or punish a lion for killing a zebra, but you would certainly punish a man or woman for killing another man or woman. The difference is reason. They cannot reason. We simply refuse to reason. Okay, but again, you can't get to reason until you're rational first. You have to calm your homeboy down first. Come on, man, don't go back in there. You know how and the enemy's clever, so now I'm just gonna go over there and talk to her. Anybody heard that before?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna speak to her. I'm gonna go speak, and his buddies, no, no, you don't go over there. Don't go over there, no, in 4 or 5, no, I'm not just gonna speak, I just wanna say hi. I wanna say hi. And we've seen disasters happen from trying to say hi.
Yeah.
You know? So these are critical life lessons we must understand. Last level is divinity. Now what is divinity? Divinity simply means establishing harmony. Now that we can reason, we can establish harmony. Bring heaven to earth. Heaven means harmony, by the way.
Yes.
You see heaven, you hear the word heaven, heaven means harmony. When we can bring heaven to earth, which means establish harmony, then that's the divine aspect. So again, we must first be intelligized, then civilized, then rationalized. And again, humankind hasn't moved past rationality. You can see that every single day, 100 times a day. But if we can learn to be rational, then we can reason, move into the human kingdom. But out here, from us against us, or law enforcement against us, it's pretty much a lion-zebra relationship. We haven't moved past that yet. Whether it's a young man or woman right here in the hood, so to speak, or billionaires launching rockets or drones, what they do nowadays, there isn't so much infantry as there used to be. It used to be you sent 500,000 troops somewhere. Well, now they may only send a few thousand, but they'll send a drone. They can put that drone right in Leland's lap if they wanted to. That's how they can fly one and sit it right in your lap. Well, it would be bigger than this room, but you get the point. The drones are really huge. They can put it right in his lap if they wanted to. And then they usually launch missiles. They don't carry bombs or guns, but they carry missiles. But in any case, you all get the point. So from, as it said, from the high ups to the low downs. So I don't want you to think this is not just about here, but the folks who have a lot of say-so in our lives haven't proven to be rational either. There's one comedian years ago that said, do you believe in God? No. Bang. And they asked the next one, do you believe in God? Yes. Okay, do you believe in my God? No. Bang. So that's what you have going on globally among other matters. Okay? Now, so what kind of heaven are you preparing for? I see this question. These aren't the questions you hear every day. What kind of heaven are you preparing for? Let me share this about that. Because a lot of people accuse you of trying to judge them. There's a big deal, you judging me. Unfortunately, most particularly for the young ones here, unfortunately for you all, the music that dominates the airways is so destructive to you.
Yes.
The most regrettable thing about today's popular music, I'm talking about hip hop and R&B. You'll hear me say hip hop, and I'm including R&B. Is that what they've encouraged the black man and woman to do, which is extremely detrimental. They basically told you where you are, stay there. That's cool. If you sitting on the couch, smoking dope, getting drunk, playing video games all day, and you attempt to get up, everybody say, "Oh no, don't get up." Why? Why not get up? Because there's heaven for a G. You got the young men that'll take 2 or 3 20s to the bank and cash them in for all ones. Does anybody know why they do that? To make it look like I got more money, but what's the other reason?
Go to the clubs.
So they can go to the club and make it rain. So they can make it rain. And the ladies are standing on their head, and you all notice it. Sometimes they'll take a $50 bill or a couple of 20s, and I want all ones. And they sit there, and as she's doing her thing, you understand, right? Now, here's my point. According to hip hop and R&B, that's their heaven. I can't say nothing about it. Or you judging me. Now, that may not be my heaven. But that's their heaven. And unfortunately, it's encouraged. Go smoke something. Intoxicate yourself.
Get drunk.
Intoxicate. Smoke something. Drink something. I know the brothers, the routine is pretty much on Saturday. You get up at about 2 p.m. because you were out to 5 in the morning. You get up at 2 p.m. They have to get hot. They have to smoke something. That's usually the routine. After that, well, of course, you get the munchies, as they call them. You're very hungry because the chemicals in hemp depletes the bloodstream. So you're supposed to be very hungry afterwards. So to get something to eat, that may be about 4 o'clock. Okay? After that, they're gonna shine up the car. All the car wash places are filled on Saturday afternoon. Now that may be about 4 or 5 o'clock. Come back, go get your hair cut afterwards. That's another hour, so you may be about 6 o'clock or so. Then you gotta get suited up, you gotta iron your clothes, get your vines right. Then you gotta call your boys over and you gotta go get something to drink. And they don't usually get out till maybe about midnight, 1, and then out to 5 p.m. But again, that's heaven for a G. Besides, you get up on Saturday morning, you prepare all this stuff, you get your New Age Truth family, you go down there in a suit, and you spend the better part of the afternoon with some youth. You could be out, you could go get that beamer shined up. You can go to Forest Park and you can floss. You get all kind of, man, why are you wasting your time? You could be flossing.
Right.
And be flossing. It's all right, Brandon. Let it go, man. Okay, I'm flossing. It's all right. But that's how they roll with it. But again, that's their heaven.
Right.
That's their heaven. Going out at night, spending their money on women scantily clad, making it rain. So, what kind of heaven are you prepared for? And unfortunately, and for our young women, oh goodness. I mean, man's supposed to take a shot to the ribs, but I can't give a woman a shot to it. It brings me to tears if you think about our women. They got them thinking that being a young lady with dignity, poise, and character is weak. You got to have attitude. Oh my goodness. Dignity, poise, and character. Carrying yourself like a lady. That's why we like to show off. Y'all, just turn around, please, real quick. Take a look at some of our New Age Truth sisters. These are who we use for our examples, particularly for our young ladies. Okay. Yes, they are very much examples. For being a bad B is the hallmark. That's what you aspire to. Be a bad. That's what our music is encouraging them to be. To be a young lady, to be a provider, a caregiver, a nurturer. No, the baddest B. Okay? Make everything your priority other than your children, your family, your mother, your father. So unfortunately, they've told us once again that where you are is cool. Wherever you are, there's a heaven for it. Don't try to improve your condition, young man, young woman. Don't try to rise from your condition. Not to judge or condemn you. Don't try to make improvement. Stay there. You want to sit on the couch all day smoking dope, playing Madden Live, NBA Live? You can all day. So we want to make those. Few points, and one last point here, and then we'll open it up. He dealt with what I put on the flyer, family betrayal. Brothers and sisters, let me say this about that, because that was a very powerful testimony. What that did, that was what you'll hear me say. You hear us say the cosmic. Or in other words, God. Cosmic was preparing him to be the God man I explained. His father put him out. Put him out. He couldn't go to his father's church to get a piece of bread. His sister would see him on the streets and wouldn't speak to him. But he never harbored an ounce of resentment, hatred, or animosity toward. You see, when he spoke about it, his vibration was high. Everything is a teaching he uses as a teaching tool. There was no anger or animosity in his voice or his vibration when he expressed. He used it. That prepared him. That let him know that, listen, God, if you say you can be counted on, well, we gonna see. You say, I don't need, he said, bring whatever you need, bring to me. Ask me. He said, don't ask a man for your meal. He said, don't ask a man for a piece of bread. Right, Leland? He said, don't ask a man for a piece of bread. He said he never asked a man for a piece of bread or anything. See, walk down the street. Somebody tell them no before you get down the street. Oh, excuse me, sir. Come on back. Now, we've heard numerous testimonies of people told them, no, 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 I'm sorry, no. And we're talking about the 1930s and 40s, okay? No, 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 no. Let's see. Hold on, come here a second. Or the next, well, you know what? I tell you what, come back tomorrow. I may have some work tomorrow. Work tomorrow turned into, I don't know how many years, 5, 10 years or what have you. So he's a living witness, quite a few years from now. He's a living witness. And this is what all black men and women, particularly black men, are supposed to be. You're supposed to stand on your own. Okay. One thing I want to impress upon young men, and I'm removing it from my vocabulary. I made a conscious effort to remove it from my vocabulary a couple of months ago. Stop wishing. Take that word. Don't ever say that word again. I wish. No black man wish for nothing. All that Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver did. And so, wishing. What you wishing for? Make it be. Make it so. What's your name again? Jelani, make it so. Leland, don't ever wish for anything ever again. Quit that Disney stuff.
Go ahead.
I wish. What you wishing? Make it so.
That's right.
What George Washington Carver would have said? I wish I had a way of saving the South from starvation. I wish. You don't wish, you petition. The God in you. God, the South was starving. This goes back to the 20s or maybe teens. They were starving. The soil couldn't produce. The soil was dead. They could not figure out how to get across. They were starving to death in the South of this country. They said, Mr. Carver, they're starving to death, and so we got to do something quick. Carver said, okay. Went into the lab, came back, and used his techniques to get that, whatever he did, turn that stuff over and stop the South from starving to death. He used, I don't know the technique he used, but he was able, see where they saw nothing, he saw a gold mine. And that's always been a quality we have, that what we call the nations, or what you would say is white people have never understood. Where they see nothing, we see a gold mine. He didn't allow you to bring books into his lab. You could not bring a book into his lab. You had to use this. But the technique he used, whatever he saw in the soil that he could use, whatever he came up with in the lab, he used to turn that soil over to replenish crops in the South. Now, Stalin was the Russian czar, Russian dictator. Stalin! You know nothing grows in Russia. He said, but cotton was the biggest crop because cotton is the primary fabric and clothing. Stalin said, can you come over and head up our cotton and our agricultural industry? We don't have any agriculture. Can you? And he turned it down. Turned out, but maybe it's a political aspect. But I'm just saying that to say, stop wishing. Wishing is good for Jimmy the Cricket and Pinocchio and Disney and all that sort of thing. No black man, no will. You will it so. Whatever you want, you ask. You ask the God in you, just like he did. He never asked a man for a piece of bread. He said, Jelani, what did he say? A white potato would taste like what? You remember? Anybody remember what he said a white potato would taste like?
Apple.
A delicious apple. He said they would take a board and they'd have wire to make himself some shoes. He said would cut the bottom of his feet so it would bleed under there. Just expressing some of the things he went through. Okay? So quit that wishing. I tell myself, stop wish for nothing. Now whether it's about me, my daughter, she's got a parent, wish it. Okay, well let's see what we can do about it. We'll make it so. Listen, black man, when you learn something about your issue, you understand why you don't wish. You don't. You ask the cosmic. Listen, I want this. I need this, and you make it happen. You align yourself with the higher principles of the soul. Give you anything. Who's the teacher more willing to do something for? The A student or the one getting C's and D's? Who? Which one? I don't hear nobody speaking. Who get the A student? You become an A student for the God within you. You ask for what you want.
That's right.
You do the work on you. You need to. You don't have to wish for anything. You just ask for it.
Yes.
Yeah, A student ask. Now the C and D students. Come on, teacher. Come on. A students, I would like to be able to do something. Oh, go right over here.
That's right.
Go right over here. You want to be a patrol guard? The A students are the patrol guards. When I was in school, y'all know if y'all have patrol guards. Y'all don't have patrol guards. When I was in
They
school,
still have safety patrol.
they have safety patrol. They wear the neon green belt. Well, those were the A students. And when I say A students, let me qualify that. Forgive me. Most well behaved too. Yeah, they have both. Good
Most
grades and
rational
behavior. Yeah, there you go. This is the most rational students. Yes, ma'am. So these are just some things we wanted to impress upon you. At this time, we'll open it up for questions, comments. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Brother Dooms.
One of the issues that was interesting that he brought up was family betrayal. Because within our family structure, we have a lot of disorganization and disunity. And so you had to understand, why did he bring up family betrayal as a method of bringing out your principles? And when you made the statement that family betrayal becomes a teaching tool. So now, rather than be irrational about something going on in your family that you're dissatisfied with, seek to get the understanding of what you're supposed to get out of that betrayal. Rather than be irrational, you be rational in that season of when you want to be irrational, because young black men have to learn to get in control of their emotions. And so that family is the best tool to teach you. So that's the essence of that. So rather than get downtrodden, depressed, and frustrated over something you're dissatisfied with, get the lesson and then move on in that lesson. We end up with a lot of Michael Browns and Tamir Rice because sometimes our emotions put us in a position and a condition that allows them to execute what they execute. So we have to take responsibility of some parts that we play in the decision-making process. So that's why he used betrayal in the family as your ultimate test for you to be able to get your lesson. Family will teach you. Peace.
Very well said. Extremely valuable. Thank you, Brother Jonas.
Thank you.
Yes,
Tag
ma'am.
on to that also,
Yes,
what he taught, not in this particular tape, but he taught that we should encourage people to live as long as possible so that we can get our lessons.
Absolutely.
You know, so that takes it even to another level, to a higher level.
Yes, ma'am.
We just
Thank
want to
you.
add that to that also.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Kim.
I want to make a comment to the young people. When you say will what you want and so be it, it has to be something of substance. You
Yes, thank you.
can't say, okay, I want some new Nikes, you know, and I'm gonna get that. It has to be something of substance that
Yes, ma'am.
has an internal value. And the A student, for me, when he said rational, you know, you can conform, you know, the A student is the one who is thinking about others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How can we help one another?
Yes,
You know,
ma'am.
doing the right thing, basically. And when you do the right thing, he's right. When you ask for what you want, you shall receive it. But it has to be, you have to be asking for the right things. Some things that you guys want have no value. Okay? So don't ask for those things. Ask for the things that could bring you heaven.
Right.
The things where he say like heaven. What is your heaven? Is your heaven a new pair of Nikes?
Right. Some
You
people
know,
do.
but we gotta stop thinking that that's our heaven, because
Yes, ma'am.
that means nothing. We have to be
Materialism.
right in our spirit. So you do the right thing, you will get what you're asking for, but ask for the right things that can change your life, change somebody else's life. For example, for me, they know youth is my passion. That's the reason I'm here.
Yes, ma'am.
I work overnights. I haven't had any sleep.
We're grateful you're here.
Okay? So I'm putting out that seed. I woke up picking these guys. He got dropped off picking them up to bring them here to get their knowledge. No sleep. And I tell them all the time, because that's the seed I'm planting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? To help my brothers and sisters. So you got to put that kind of good out and then ask for something. And when I ask for something, I'm asking, normally for me, when I'm asking for something, I'm asking for something for somebody else.
There you go. Yes, ma'am.
So it's not always about you. and what you want that's tangible, ask for the right things. You put the good seeds out, you shall have what it is that your heart desires, but make sure that you're not desiring the wrong things.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You wanna add just a little bit, and then we'll open it back up. And when you think about when you ask, when do you ask? You don't ask for that which you can acquire yourself. It is said, man's limit is just then God's opportunity. Okay? So once you, or as we also say in New Age Truth, once you do your intelligent best, the cosmic or God will do the rest. So you don't ask for that which you can acquire, you can get yourself. It's only when you've done all you can do. Because the A student does all they can do, and if they're lacking, right, they got 15 problems. The first 14, they breeze through that 15th one. Wait a minute. They're all on the internet, they're at the library, they're staying a little bit late with the teacher, and doing what they can so they can get the rest. Okay? So you only ask when you've reached your limit. Okay? But excellent points. Let's open it back up. Yes, come on. Okay, you just step in front of the camera so we can pick you up
okay.
here.
No, I just wanted to briefly make a comment about intelligence because Dr. Berry talked about intelligence and you expounded on it, but there's a lesson that he also taught about intelligence which is really significant in today's age because we use that word a lot of times, but we don't know how to use it. We use it out of order and out of context. He said that the first sign of intelligence was being able to give consideration to others.
Yes.
And you see how the world needs that. If we could consider someone else, we won't have this violence with the police in the inner city. We won't have a black on black crime. We won't have a worldwide violence, the wars. If we can consider someone else. So when you want to say someone's intelligent, are they considerate to others?
Yes, sir.
Just because they may be smart and financially
That's right.
successul,
That's
that's
right.
intelligent. He's not intelligent if he's rude to others
That's right.
and doesn't want to help anyone and is selfish. The first sign of intelligence is being able to give consideration to others. So keep that in mind. If you can't consider someone else, you're unintelligent.
Yes, sir.
So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you very much. Real quick, and I want to go to Jessica. Just accentuate that point real quick. There's no one in here, none of the adults, if you're shopping for a car or a house. There's not one adult in here, Brother Dumas, Sister Kemp, Sister Lee, Sister Nefertiti, myself, Jennifer, Jessica, Kamara, anyone. If you're shopping for a car or a house, and you go research, this is the greatest, this guy's won Salesman of the Year 14 years in a row. He sold tens of millions of dollars in real estate property. The guy knows what he's doing. When you approach him, you go to him, he's the most highly reputed real estate agent in the St. Louis area. With all that know-how, all that knowledge, if he's rude and sarcastic and short with you, you won't give him 1 second of your business.
That's right.
See, as our master teacher said, we leapfrog out here.
That's right.
The principles of intelligence have to be established first, consideration. Without that, I don't care how talented. He can be a personal trainer. This guy could have trained Usain Bolt, LeBron James, Michael Jordan on down the road. But if he's aloof, acting like he all that, he's rude, he's never on time, he won't be my trainer long.
That's right.
So that's an excellent point you made,
Yes.
Kamar. And on that note, we have a hand in the back. Jessica, did you have something to say?
Well, I guess I'll come up there.
Or Kamar can put the camera on you, but okay.
I'd rather come up here.
Okay. Right on up.
I want to say good afternoon to everyone.
Good
I
afternoon.
apologize for being late. I was at work. But I'm glad to see the young men here because what black young men don't understand is when we touch something, we almost perfect it. Black people. Look at Simone Biles, look at Gabby Douglas. We touch ballet, you have your Misty Copelands. We touch engineering, you have your architects. We touch science, you have your Carvers, you have your neurosurgeons, you have Dr. Ben Carson. Anything we touch, we just about perfect. So, with that being said, everything that you need is within you, young men.
That's right, Jay.
Use yourself as a tool. Don't let the easy life get to you. Don't let money, oh yeah, I need money to look nice, to have the Jordans, this music. You know, don't let that influence you so much, because that's nothing. That's minute to what you need. Internalize some truth and reality, because once that money or those women leave you, what do you have? I mean, what are you basing your life off of? You're not out here. God didn't put us on this earth to party all the time and die young. I'm trying to live to 144. You know, he didn't put us on here to look at each other. Oh, he got the wrong shoes on. I don't like his color. Let me kill him. Or, oh, this is a black brother in the car. Let me kill. He did not put us on this earth to do that. That is not what you all are here for. But I'm happy to see young black men, because you all need to know and take a stand for what is real. Because I'm only 25. I grew up in the early 2000s, and I just graduated high school 2009. So I know what's going on. I know the music that's out here. I have nieces and nephews that are young. I know the influences. I know the people of no substance that are very easy to listen to. Those friends are very easy to listen to. Always on the phone is something very easy to do versus going to the library learning something new. I know it. Been there, done that. I grew up in New Era Shoes. I still try to take the easy route in life. You know it don't work. God tests you. And a disobedient child day is a number. And I say that from experience.
Yes.
I say that from experience. So to look at these murders and what's going on in the country and world, you have to know something is going on. The energy is different. Something going on. We have to rise above that. We have to rise above the anger, because black people are very angry. We're very angry. And we're angry about the wrong thing.
That's true.
Right.
We're angry about the wrong stuff. We not angry because I need some more knowledge. I need to learn this. How do I conquer stuff? Why do I feel this way about these young ladies? Why am I feeling this way about this young man? I need to learn to control my emotions. Now that's what we need to be angry about.
That's right.
Not about because I can't get the Jordans this month, so I'm gonna be mad at my mama, curse somebody out. Not because I ain't have enough allowance, or I didn't have enough money. Don't be mad at those things. That's not gonna do nothing for you. It's not gonna put up any soul quality. Learn about what can I do to help myself and others. Because when you help others, you're helping yourself. So I'm just saying, be encouraged, young black men. Be proud to be black. You know, prove the difference. That's one thing I tell people all the time. When people come up to me and talk to me, they instantly have a stereotype. Oh, she's black. She has a thing on her head. She's natural. She must be this kind of way.
Right.
She must listen to this kind of music. Honey, I listen to all type of music. 80s soft rock, Celine Dion, Journey, Stevie Wonder. You can't tell me anything about myself. I can tell you about things in history that was well before my time.
Right.
And I can tell you about some knowledge that I know about living life as well. So take that and run with it. Have pride in that. Have pride in being different, because everybody's not different. A lot of people, the people who are the same will laugh at you. And in the end up needing you.
That's right.
So I'm just saying, be encouraged, young men.
Thank you for your time. Okay. Well, we're gonna move into toss up in just a moment, and you all thoroughly enjoy this. But we want to see, are there any, particularly from our newcomers, any other questions or comments from anyone from our newcomers? Okay. If not, okay, yes, sir, Brother
I'd like for
Dewey.
each one of them just to make a statement on what they got out of it.
Yes, that would be good.
Okay.
Come down the line, whatever they got.
Okay, all right, certainly, okay. Well, I think Jelani actually had a question.
Did he say, I thought I heard him say something about inorganic matter.
Yes, Jelani said he thought he heard Master Berry say something about inorganic matter. He was dealing with the two classifications of matter. You all get this in your science classes, but there's inorganic matter, and organic matter. Inorganic matter is matter that cannot produce out of itself. For instance, rocks or minerals. Joshua, yes, sir. Organic matter is matter that can produce out of itself. Of course, human beings, animals, plants, they can give of themselves to create. That's what he was indicating. I think he was using that in regard to dealing with this animal nature.
Right.
Okay. So indicating we're organic. We are obviously organic.
So we come from the same classification as the two-legged animal. He wanted to emphasize this is a beast body, like the animals are.
Right. Thank you. Absolutely. Great question. Any other questions before we go down the line? And then, like I said, you all definitely want to do Tulsa. Tulsa is very fun, very educational. So, Leland, any quick reflection on what you heard in the video? You're not a newcomer anymore, man, so you know, we stepping you up a bit.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much covered all the reflection I was gonna say. About the human and stuff.
Okay, so what he said about human, that really hit you, you can really relate to what he was saying about that. Okay, sir. Yeah, that's one of his most powerful lessons, I have to say, when he deals with that human.
And family.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, that one's, and it, go ahead,
I can
brother.
relate a lot to it.
Okay.
I see a lot in my family and stuff like that. What we go through.
It's okay, little girl, man. Okay. Well, good. Well, Leland, I trust. We truly trust that you receive something that will help you deal with. That is, as Brother Dumas so brilliantly expressed, that is a major. A lot of people don't recover. I'm fortunate. I always had my mother and my father. I don't know what it's like not to have my father. I mean, he passed away in '97. I was 24, 20. Oh, I didn't tell my age. Anyway, I was 12. No, I'm kidding. But that is extremely important. A lot of people don't survive that. When I say survive it, they don't recover mentally.
Right.
From the scars they suffered at the hands of their family. But if you take this with you, this will help you. When I talk to some of my best friends, particularly my female friends, this is one thing that I used to. If you understand this in regard to when people say things or do things that appear cruel, if you remind yourself, you don't know any better. Now, I'm not saying that as an arrogant thing. It could be coming from me. If you hear me say something, ignorant brothers don't know any better. Now that could be momentary.
Right.
I may wake up into the consciousness of how ignorant or stupid I was a moment later. And if I'm an intelligent man, listen, Brother Jelani, forgive me. That was rude. I shouldn't have said that. If you understand, if you remind yourself that I talked to my good friend, her name's Shelly. That's the only thing that gets her through the day. When she's dealing with her elderly mother and so forth and others, and I don't want to put her personal stuff out there, but when some of my friends do, they remind themselves that she doesn't know any better. Because if we knew better, we would do better.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Leland. Jelani, any quick reflection?
Family betrayal.
Family betrayal. Oh, that's okay. Brandon?
Yeah.
Brandon's been lifting weights all day, and that's why he
Bradley.
tired.
I told him to tell you it's Bradley.
Bradley. Okay, I'm sorry.
What really got to me was the difference between man and beast.
Ooh, yes. I have to say, Bradley, that's the heart of New Age truth. You say, well, what's the heart of New Age truth? That's 99% of New Age truth. The difference between man and beast. Mind and form. The nature of this form versus the lower nature versus high. That's 99% of this organization. Whenever you come to our meetings, that's what we'll talk about 90% of the time. That's what we've been dealing with here. Rationality, being rational versus irrational. So yes. Now I don't know if you were including our assistant Ms. Kemp or not, but we can go to her next. Yes, ma'am.
I would say what touched me the most was not asking man for anything. Because I teach that to my children. Man can't give you anything. You get everything you need from God in the universe if you just connect the seed out there. So that really, resonated in my spirit.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Let me test. Lee, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lee, okay. What got your attention?
Same thing that Bradley said.
Oh yes. We're glad. We're so. Well, y'all don't see us, but we so invigorated by it because that's the heart of it. That's the heart of it. And we're gonna go to our dear sister. I don't know if I caught your name. Did you want to make a reflection on what you saw on the tape?
I just like the way it's not just doing for self. You have to do for yourself and not mission is spoken, but you have within it to do yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yo, let me say this real quick, and then we'll do toss about it. Listen, the religion would crumble if they received just what you said. They rely on you going to them for what you need. If it was made known that you have within you everything you need. You just may need a teacher or a guide to point you to it or to help bring it out of you.
Right.
LeBron James at age 17 was one of the most gifted athletes ever in pro basketball. He just needed he had it there, he just needed somebody to help bring it out. Miles Davis, I was reading stuff about him. He said Lincoln, he would do stuff with the horn. Class would be going on here, he would be across. They didn't know what Miles Davis was doing. You all know Miles Davis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't know Miles Davis, Jelani? Okay, Jelani, that's a teenager look like duh, like he gave it. First I thought he was looking at me like, no, I don't know, but I misread it. That's that teenager. Like, of course I know who he is. Oh yeah. So people like that, you know. So absolutely, ma'am. That's where your freedom lies, and that's why I was stressed. You know, don't do all that wishing. Don't do all. Make it so. And if it's beyond your control, if it's beyond, stop wishing. Oh, I wish it would stop raining. See, I had to stop that foolishness in me, brother. Hey, I wish it was done. I wish it would. I wish the sun. I wish it was dry outside. Brother outside saying, but stop that foolishness. It is what it is. It's raining.
We need the rain.
I wish we had 87 people here. I wish that. Listen, Cosmic Heavenly Father, I'm grateful for who you brought to us.
That's right.
Stop, take that word wish out of my vocabulary. Wishing and whatnot. You make it so, Leland. You hear me? You make it so. Wishing, I wish I had some more. I wish I could get this pain in my elbow to go away. Quit all of that. Make it so. Our Heavenly Father, open up everything. You can go right to the internet. And if I said go, so you can find out something to do, pain in the elbow, a hand will go up in about 3 seconds. That's how fast you can get some information on what to do about pain in the elbow. Using this age of science and technology for our benefit. That's what we're supposed to do. When we mention people like Valerie Thomas and folks like that who created the technology that led to the first flat screen television black one. Valerie Thomas, look her up. Flat screen television is her technology. Missile guidance systems, because missiles don't respond in space like they do on Earth. Black man invented that. I cannot think of his name right now. The guidance system, and all that to allow things to operate in space than they do on Earth. Philip Emeagwali, nuclear scientists, all the remarkable things they did. But let me digress, because we want you all.
No, I wanted to, if I can, I wanted to briefly just reiterate a lesson that Master taught right before you do the toss up. Because every lesson that he teaches is profound and is necessary for us to learn, but some lessons are extremely relevant to today. When he mentioned the lesson of the pig and her piglets in the trough.
Oh, yes.
Right. Because it emphasizes explicitly how this beast nature works. How it will fool you into thinking you really love someone when you don't. It's like he said, when the pig is in there with the piglets, it will protect her piglets if anyone gets in there. But once he puts the food inside the trough and they become competition to her, she would toss them up and injure them and kill them if she could, because they become competition to her, because now that beast nature has risen up in her. And we see that every single day in black communities.
Yes.
He said it about his brother. I'm going to take it a step further and say, you kill a man over your baby mama. That's in terms we can relate to in the hood, for real. You will kill a man over your baby mama, but how many times have we heard of baby fathers killing baby mothers now in the black community? Because they know nothing about that beast nature.
Right.
Once she does something that you don't like, now you become her biggest threat.
Give you some opposition.
Any opposition.
Mm-hmm.
See, that lesson is what the black community needs to hear over and over and over. It needs to be shot out on loudspeakers, really. It will stop a lot of this nonsense violence, because this feeling body will deceive you. This is a feeling body, and feeling is your biggest enemy.
Yes, sir.
Feeling is deceptive.
Yes, sir.
See, he said that. He said the reason why you can kill someone in the name of hate as much as you can in the name of love now, or in the name of love as much as you can in the name of hate. You know that, right? I loved her, but you killed her. Why is that? Because what we consider love and hate are being played on the strings of your emotions.
Yes, sir.
That comes from this feeling body. That's a deception in it. Have you thinking you love that person when you really don't even care about that person.
Right. Yes, sir.
You can't even prove you care, but again, this feeling body got you thinking you love that person, but when you put to the test, it's gonna be proven you didn't, because you're gonna do something to injure that person, to kill that person.
Yes, sir.
And it's happening every single day in the black communities. Brothers too, sisters, mothers, fathers, and daughters, everything. Uncles, nephews. There was a story last year, a guy killed his nephew over an argument over a pork steak in St. Louis. Seriously.
Yep.
They were arguing, the uncle said it was a pork steak, the nephew said it was a pork chop.
Right.
They wound up, I think the nephew killed the uncle. But he loved his uncle. If someone would came down and fought his uncle, he'd kill that man over his uncle. See what I'm saying? But as soon as his uncle became some opposition to him,
Opposition to him.
he had no control of that beast nature, this feeling body, he killed his uncle. That's why what the master teaches is so profound and so different from what you hear about here in the world from everyone else. He teaches you the details of how you need to control this physical form. The tools you need to use to reach that harmony he talked about. You can't wish for it, you can't believe in it, you have to do work. You have to work on self.
Right, work on self.
And see, that's why with all the good intentions of all these people in this country, things are not getting better. Things are not improving. With all the different programs, and a lot of intelligent people are trying to put in different programs for this, to stop the violence, to bridge the gap between the black communities and the police force, but it's not working because they don't know these things. If you don't know about self, it don't matter what kind of program you have.
Right.
It don't matter. I could put together the best program ever, the best system ever, but if I can't control my beast nature, if I'm not conscious of it, it'll act up anyway.
Right.
So it becomes an individual task for each person, each individual to work on themselves. That's the only solution for the world.
The only solution. That's right.
Ultimately, that's it. It's not about organizing a system, which is great,
Right.
but those can only go so far. Those are for people who are under some kind of self-control. to a
Right.
degree.
Right.
Those are the ones that benefit from those programs.
Right.
Self-help programs are for people who have
working on self.
Working on themselves. But if you know nothing about yourself, and you just a total beast, it's not gonna do anything for you. Just wanted to mention that.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And you see why you see the urgency and why we continue these efforts so much. So brilliant, Kamar. Go ahead, Sister Nefertiti.
We just want to add on to what Brother Kamara was saying, and also what our leader was saying. I don't
Ms. Kim?
Ms. Kim? Okay.
Kim.
Yeah, Kim. Okay. Good afternoon, Sister Nefertiti. Anyway, Master Berry taught that we are not to have any expectancy. You know, we're not to take anything for granted, and we're not to believe in God. We're to know God for ourselves.
Yes.
You know, and wisdom is hidden in its simplicity. It's so simple we overlook it.
Yes.
You know, so you can there are a lot of tools that we have to use today in order to allow our soul to assert its most magnificent mastership over this animal body and brute nature and everything. But you can start with just little simple things, simple techniques. You can ask the God in you to help you control your emotions.
Right.
You can ask Him to keep your desires constructive.
Yes.
You know, you can start with little simple things because you don't know you don't know.
Right.
And yet you don't want to know. You know, like she was saying, you know, ask for things that are substance. You know, you ask Him to keep your desires constructive. You may not know you're not asking for something constructive.
Right.
So put Him first.
Right.
Let Him guide you through all of these trials and tests because you don't know anything. And then observe
Yes.
and see the difference.
Yes.
That's how you learn. That's the difference between believing and knowing.
Right.
Right.
You know, you have to try it.
That's right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Like we said, this doesn't run out, this runs in. Thank you so much for sharing that, sister. We want to have you all do at least one toss-up. So I'm going to introduce it. Then we're going to pass up. We're just going to have you all gather around the table. Get 4 or 5 to take some. We're not at this moment. Just pull up a chair there and a couple other spots. Let me explain it real quick. What are some of the great discoveries? So-called discoveries are so-called discoveries of humankind. Just, somebody just throw something out there if you can think of it. Yes, Brad? Okay, electricity, yes. Anything else anybody can think of?
Storm.
Storms, okay, that's my nephew. Any other so-called great discoveries humankind has had since, yes, sir?
Wind power.
Wind power, okay. Technology, the broad, okay, but what within technology? Space travel, nuclear power, okay, what about dinosaurs? They supposedly discovered dinosaur fossils, human fossils, penicillin, okay, discovered that the earth was round instead of flat. But let me just say this to you all, and get right into Tulsa. All those discoveries are great, so-called discoveries are great, but they all pale in comparison to the master discovery. The greatest discovery of all. All the discoveries together don't add up to this one discovery, and that's self-discovery. This is exactly, this is a perfect segue from Sister. She knew it wasn't done on purpose. Well, it was done on purpose, but
Yes,
from within.
divine order.
You know, by divine order.
Yes.
Right. Perfect segue. Greatest discovery you can have, like say those desires, and so forth. Okay? So, Toss-Up is a self-discovery tool. You're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. I'll give you a sample one, and it's personal testimony, which you're comfortable sharing now.
Right.
Okay, so you go as deep as you want, and you keep it wherever you want. So, what I'm gonna have you all do, just I'm gonna rearrange, just gather around the table so you can have something to write on. And I'm gonna give you a pen, I'm gonna give you a package, we're gonna go over it, and we're gonna do one. I don't know if we have time enough to do all of them, but we'll get as many as we can. And so if you all wanna just take a couple of minutes to just gather around any table.
This is for the youth, right? This is mainly for the youth.
Yeah, just bring your
Youth.
chair up to, anybody can do it, we'll concentrate most heavily on the youth. And Adrian, if you can make sure everybody has a writing utensil, make sure that our new guests have our new H2 pen. And Jahari, did you want to pass these out? Okay. Okay, hold on, let me give you a few more. Make sure all of the newcomers, I'm gonna keep one, all of the newcomers, people you've never seen before, get one, okay? You all just gather around the table. I'm gonna explain it and then we'll get into it. And I've got more if you need more. Anaya, did you want one? I've got plenty.
Sister Dorothy, you got it.
You can pause it for a moment.
Okay.